maybe that's the problem. All right, okay, that was the problem. All right, that was easy. Good. Okay, let me, I'm just gonna, just repeat the oath, okay? Please. All right, so, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, and just for the record, this is appeal number 84. It started at 6:01 p.m., and it's for 114 Middlebrook Drive. The owner is Christopher Joyce. The town has valued the property at $721,500, and Mr. Joyce is asking for a reduction to $675,000. Right. And actually, would you just state your name again for the...
Yes, Christopher Joyce, the owner of 114 Middlebrook Drive.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, so Mr. Joyce, this is going to be your opportunity now to provide testimony as to why you believe this the market value of 114 Middlebrook Drive is in fact $675,000 and not the value appraised or assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold on that on that date, and just try to please be as succinct as possible. All right.
Sure.
Actually, oops, one more thing. Sorry.
Yep.
That paper right there, I just need you to sign the top line, and that's just telling that you took the oath. All right. Thanks. All right, so you may begin.
All right. So I'm sure you've heard this 100 times so far, but bear with me. So as it's stated in the reevaluation notice of assessment change letter that we all got, the market value is determined by property values as of October 2020. As we know, that time period, real estate here in Fairfield County and surrounding areas was extremely active due to COVID-19, and demand was very high. As a result, home prices have soared to record levels similar to what happened in 2004 and 2005. According to a Wall Street Journal article dated February 2nd of 2021, median sales prices have rose 15.5% in 2020. Home buyers purchased the most homes in Connecticut in 15 years in 2020, propelling median sales price to a record high. And again, that's a quote from Wall Street Journal dated February 2nd, 2021. Really, to represent a true and fair market value, a comparative market analysis was done by myself using properties that sold between November 2020 and February 2021. I have provided 3 comparables of such properties. I know that should be actually November 2019 and February 2020. I apologize.
So November 19?
2019, yeah, February 2020. Before, obviously, the pandemic hit, we had the influx of city dwellers. So as such, I provided 3 comparables during that market time, during that time period, that is really truly reflective of what I would call a fair and balanced market. 163 Springer at $460,000 was the selling price.
Let me just,
and I have, do you need these comparables? Or?
Nope, I mean, I'm pretty sure I have them here. Let me
Okay.
I just want to make sure. So,
I have 1400 North Benson, which I think is probably most reflective of the...
Okay, so I have, I see 1406 Brookside.
Yes.
I see 1400 and 163 Springer. Okay.
Yes.
I have all 3. Yep.
So now I had said my property at that time would have been worth $675. After going through and actually doing some more analysis of the 3 comps I provided, really what I came to over the weekend was $625 to $675. But you know, $675 is what I put, and $675 is what I'll go by. But really, it seems that you know I've been a Fairfield resident since 1997. Moved here as a single man. Stayed here through my sowing the oats periods, and now have kids, and I have no problem paying taxes to the town. And I did it because we have great schools. I understand that's what my kids are reaping from. But at the same token, it seems like every year we have a reevaluation. It's the year when real estate is going nuts. 2005 I got whacked, and now I'm getting nailed again in 2020. And so, having gotten my real estate broker license 8 years ago, I now have kind of the more the knowledge and the proof to show that, yes, maybe today my house would sell for $721,000, but if we go back to before things started, the demand was extremely high, I really think the 675 is more representation of what the home would be worth.
So, all right, so you want to tell me about, so you said 163 Springer, and you said the 1400 Bronson you feel is the most relevant comp?
I mean, if we were to go through, the specs on the home compared to mine, we've got 3,100 square feet livable space at 1400 North Benson. Mine is, I believe, 2,300. We have a half acre of land. Mine is a quarter acre of land. This was on the market for 204 days. It started off at $639,000 and ended up selling for $590 on November 12th, 2019.
How much did you say it sold for?
It sold for $590.
$590.
And this is a lot of house. Clearly this is a $850,000 house today, but this is an arm's length deal. It's not a short sale. It wasn't a foreclosure. This was what the market was bearing at the time.
Right, and then also the 1406 Brookside?
I included 1406 Brookside because this was, in fact, a short sale. And the reason why I wanted to bring it was A, to show the specs on the house. Again, 3.6 acres of land, 2,300 square livable space. But back then, this is a short sale that's reflective of what the economy was and what the market was bearing at the time. This is a lot of house to sell today. It's covering $12,000. Older home. That would be one of the deductions I would have taken.
And, so can you just explain to me how you came up with the 675 number? What's,
Yeah, again, I think I'm further, I was probably being true to myself. We're closer down to the 625 number. The 675, though, when I started putting down some of my appraisal courses and starting to put down numbers of actual features, values, and I know the condition of my home, that back then I would think I would have gotten 650, 625, 650. I think 675 is being generous, but again,
what would you say the condition of your home is? Look on that.
For the year, it was a recent addition by the previous owners. It's in good condition. It's embarrassing of all the stuff I printed out. I didn't print out my field card.
Actually, it's on here. It's on here. It's in there, yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't have it. So, I wrote that right. I was built in 1943, 2584 for square footage, 0.24 acres, 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths. Again, that's why I think the closest comparable geographically in the town, in the school system, which is obviously the school is a big deal, in my mind anyway. The 14 North Benson is kind of the closest one.
Okay. All right. So, do you have anything else that you want to present?
That's it here.
Okay. All right. So, what I'll do is, these are the next steps. I'm sure you're probably familiar with this, right? I'll be presenting your petition to a majority of our board to deliberate and then to consider and vote. All right? You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that being made, and we're hoping that all decisions will be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year and appeal again. If you are granted a reduction, you are not able to appeal again until the next revaluation, which is in 5 years. All right.
Okay.
And so we could either grant you your full reduction or even a partial reduction. Either way, it would preclude you from coming back until 5 years. Now, you also have the option of if you're unhappy with either of those scenarios, then you can go take it to court, and we will provide instructions on how to do that when we send your decision letter. All right?
So Peter, so even if they say, okay, we'll like to buy $1,000, that means I would have to wait the full 5 years?
That's correct. And I mean, I'm just going to be honest, when we've encountered those kind of situations, we said we're not going to do that because we don't want to shut the owner out. So, I mean, that's the kind
a year from now could be a very different story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Peter.
Sure. Thank you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You as well. You as well. Go get some of those kids.
There you go.
Good. How about you?
Be honest.
This is supposedly the last of the hearings for me. So
And for me too, I think.
it is.
We'll celebrate today on St. Patrick's Day.
Right. So, okay, so the routine. I'm just going to need for you to put a couple things into the record
Sure.
here. Okay, this is Peter Rupert. It's March 17th, 2021. It's approximately 6:18 p.m. And this is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in using bridge number 3. I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. and this is being recorded. I'm just going to read a couple things into the record, just correct me if anything is inaccurate. This is appeal number 545 for 1200 Bronson Road. The owner is Judith
Confuso.
Town has valued this property at $774,600. The ask amount or the reduction to is $460,000, and attorney Paul J. Gannon is representing the appellant.
Perfect, thank you. So this is, if I may, I do have some comps for you.
Okay.
So this house is, vintage is 1966. It's approximately 3,000 square feet. It is, as you indicated, the appraised number on this property is 774. I think that's a working number. This property has not been updated. It is, pine those areas in our 80s. It's 19, it is 1960s vintage inside. It is, for that matter, outside too. What I do have are some comps, okay? And the comps, if you pop up the MLS on the actual comps, and these are all concluded sales. The first one I'll give you is 820 Sturgis Road in Fairfield. It closed in November 13th. November 13th it closed for $560,000. This
So November
13th
of
2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, 2020. Sorry about that.
Okay. And for how much did you say?
$560. So this house is has a guest or home office. It sits on an acre of land. It's got an in-ground pool. It's got a patio, outdoor shower, and it's clean. It's new. If you look at all the photos, and I'll give that one to you. Next one I have is 1012 Mill Plain Road. Again, I got to tell you, I looked at these houses online. They're outstanding in terms of the quality of their homes. It sold in July 15, 2020, $505,000. I should note that square footage is not exact between the two, okay? This one is 21. We're supposedly at 3,000. This is all new. It's a 4-bedroom colonial, which is this, we don't have 4 bedrooms. Access downtown. It's been all updated. Bedroom, playroom, yoga, eating kitchen, stainless steel appliances, pantry on the main level, powder room, laundry room, upstairs 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. The property is flat. Got a barbecue area, patio, sunroom, and that's at 505. The third one, I'm going to give you. Don't want to repeat the same one. Oh, that's right. Okay, yes, so thank you. Third one is 275 Mill Plain Road, closed in June 26, 2020 for $445,000.
I thought you said June 26th.
2020.
And for how much?
$445,000. This has an walk-up backway, oh my God, walk-up attic, all gas heating. This again, it's all new and clean. They got a 4-zone, 95% efficiency gas furnaces, water heater, new roof, gutters, 200 amps of electricity service put in. Walk-up attic, oversized garage for storage. 2018, the home was updated, including all the siding, windows, etc. And so those are the three. I think that on this, candidly, between looking at them, although there are difference in square footage, I don't believe that square footage is correct. This is 2,600 square feet. I think
275 is 26?
275 is 2,600 square feet. 1012 Mill Plain was 2,100 square feet, and 820 was 2,100 square feet. I actually think the square footage is wrong on it, but I have nothing with me to challenge the one on Bronson. I'm not sure that it's 3,000, but and they
you said you said, yeah, so you said Bronson, the 3,000 square feet, so you're thinking it's not 3,000 square feet?
I think it's a little high for what it is. Yeah, I do think it's a little off, but I don't have anything. I don't have anything on that. I didn't have anybody go out there and measure it, but I do think it's. I just look at these houses, I look at this one, I think they're, some of these are 4 bedrooms in there, 2 full baths. And this has a total of, does have 4 bedrooms, it has 8 rooms. Don't know. For this right now, I think I have to assume it's accurate. I just raised the question. But I'll give you these.
Okay, great. Can I just ask you one other question? You just mentioned about the property being flat at 1012 Mill Plain. Is that an issue?
It's okay. Usually when somebody's advertising their property as flat, it is flat. This one, it's okay. It slopes off in the back. It's okay. It's not. I wouldn't say it's. I don't think it's anything to focus on. I think I was just pointing out what they were highlighting as features on that other one.
Sure.
I don't hope I mislead you on that.
No. So, okay. All right. So
it just looks like, in comparison, it looks heavy. My number might not be completely right at 460. I don't think it's that far off. I do think the 774 is really strong. Okay.
Well, I'll inquire about the 3,000 square feet.
I don't know if there's a good way of doing it. There's probably, that's less important. I mean, you can add and subtract the square footage. You're not going to add 300 grand for it, right? I mean, so we can assume that the squares are the right ones. But when looking at the comps, even at the one that's at 25 plus, there's 400 square feet difference. It's a significant difference, and this is, it sounds dated. I mean, it's just, what happens as people get older. Everything's just fine the way it is.
So, as you know, we'll be deliberating this. I'll present this petition to our board, the majority of our board, and we'll contact you with a decision when we, within 7 days of making that decision. All right. And if sorry, get off my script here. I should know it by heart right now, but
you won't have to know it anymore.
So anyway, that if the appeal is denied, it can come back next year. If it's granted, you would not be able to appeal against it until the next revaluation, and then, yeah, obviously, you can take it to court at all, all right? So if there's nothing further, then this concludes the hearing.
Thank you, sir.
All right?
Nice seeing you again. Stay well.
You too.
Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. At least I know you won't be out there.
Take care now. How are you? Peter Rupert. Hi, Dan. You're just going to take a seat here, please? Okay. All right, so, Mr. Lee, we are recording this session. Okay. And I just have a little bit of a script I need to read through. Okay. Bear with me. Sure. Oh, this is already prepared for me. Yeah. We heard you were coming. Okay. This is Peter Rupert. Today is March 17th, Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. It's approximately 6:31 p.m. And this is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals using bridge number 3. Welcome, Mr. Lee. I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. And as I mentioned, it is being recorded. I'm just going to read a couple things into the record right now and just let me know if anything seems inaccurate. Okay. So this is appeal number 619. The property you're appealing is located at 1372 Bronson Road. The owners of this property are Wesley and Grace Lee. The town has valued this property at $786,900, and you're asking for a reduction to $714,000. Okay? So, Mr. Lee, would you just, for the record, state your name and that you are the owner of this property?
Yes, my name is Wesley Lee. I am the owner of 1372 Bronson Road.
Okay. And if you would raise your right hand, I'm just going to swear you in right now. Okay, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So on that page right there, if you would just sign the top line, okay, and I'll come retrieve from you. Okay.
Okay. I've sent it up. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right, so Mr. Lee, this is your opportunity now to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $714,000 and not the value assigned by the town. All right, so market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and please try to be as succinct as possible, okay?
Okay. So I just want to state that the reason why I go for the number of 714 is that was our purchase price.
Okay.
And at the time, a little under 4 years ago, we believe that was the market price at the time. So I just took examination, and I don't know if, and I bought another printout of the, yes, yes. And I just wanted to just state that when I looked at the base period and looked at the sales in that time, there were four, other houses have much higher square footage. So I expected that that's what the town would do as a fair comparable. And looking at four of the properties that were of a similar square footage, they are well into the sort of average that the town would say of around 760 to 780. However, if you, we have the benefit of online realtors, and if you look at their ads, they are fully modeled. They are turnkey, move-in, modernized with high-end appliances and high-end finishes. And I just stated that. The only other property that I wasn't able to examine is on 895 Bronson Road, which happens to be also on the same road. And also these properties within the base period, I didn't even go outside our zone. I noticed that all the properties are in certain zones. I could have broadened the zone, but then there'd be differentiation of whether the land was more expensive or not. And so I noted there that the 895 Bronson Road appears to be, and as I drove past and also as I see in the pictures, in almost an original state as when it was built. I'm sorry, I just noticed that you were trying to write this down. Should I talk slower?
Yeah, if I need you to.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So I have your notes.
Okay.
Which I'll certainly go back. It's just kind of like to where you're going. So,
okay.
So you're saying that it appears to be almost original condition. Is that what you said?
Yeah. For the 895, and I can see that that was appraised by the town at 724. So even if we go by that marking, which actually has 300 square foot, a little bit larger, even in living area. So even if you account for that, it would roughly match at the 714 that I peg it at. Which at the time we thought we were getting a good deal, but it comes to light that we were bang on the market. I guess you always want to convince yourself that you're getting a good deal, but realizing that wasn't the case.
So these are the other. I'm sorry. Go on.
No. Please go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so these other 340 half mile road. This is another comp that you are asking to be used.
So the other houses that I state there, outside of the 895, they're all fully remodeled, turnkey, and if you look at the pictures, they're very high finish in terms of the kitchen and the bathroom.
And you said recent remodels?
Recent remodels, yeah. If you look at the Zillow's, and I guess the town has access to all the building permits, so they would be able to see that.
So I'm looking at, just because I just want to make sure I have everything, so 340 Half Mile, 71 Spruce Street, and 1509 Brookside.
So I just wanted to say, with the 1509 Brookside, whoever, I mean, I don't know the real transaction, because certainly there are rebates and certain items that might have been made, but even that, with its updated bathrooms and kitchens, was sold for $715.
So, I can see it, on the record, on the, town card, if it was not an arm's length transaction, that might, be a reason why it was, the sale that was, maybe
listed as, yeah. So, I only can speak of what I have, but the town would have all that information with regard to what permits were done. But even that one, that house is a higher square footage and is cheaper than what I say. So, in light of that, and again, the town has all the details. Our property is in its original state. So, close to, I believe it was 1974, our property was built. So all the bathrooms and kitchens are exactly as they are. I think from the permits, when we transacted on the house, I believe the roof was replaced once. But
before you though?
Before us, yeah. In the late 90s. But since then, I haven't been told of any other works that were done. Recently, we had to have a boiler replaced. But actually, that was Peter Kupchik who actually changed the boiler for us. So I'm sure he would have put a permit on our behalf. So he was very good. It was very nice. But our boiler had broken, so that was a forced repair. So the other thing that I wanted to add, and I have it in the cover letter, is that the cost of bringing this up to current standards would be, and this is the lowest end, not the high quality of the high finished works that the other houses have. Would be at the very least $31,000. So I do understand from speaking to the pre-hearing company that there was a reduction, like a depreciation, a general blanket depreciation done on the house, but even with that depreciation, another $31,000 would have to be added, which would bring it around the 15 mark, I think. The other thing that I was told was that the land had increased in value. I just want to add that the properties that are on the west side of Perry's Mill are all in a flood zone. So, with that,
Perry's Mill?
Perry's Mill.
What you said, probably the west side?
On the west side of that, yeah, on the Bronson Road side. So, our house, and houses on either side, are in a flood zone. So no one wants to move. Unless it's near the beach, no one wants to move into there. So there's a cap, I think, on the appreciation of that land. The other point is that I don't know how many times you've driven down Bronson Road, but it's an extremely noisy road. I would say 1 in 10 cars follow the speed limit, and the number of trucks from the nurseries that are there are 3 nurseries on that road, and the number of semi-trailers that travel along there, or construction trucks, is very frequent. So if this house was put on the market, any realtor would take those things into consideration and unfortunately would put a ceiling on or a cap on the prices of that land. The other item of interest is that recently, due to a remortgage, I was required to undertake a home appraisal. Mm-hmm. And whilst I realised that this appraisal is not for the purposes of property tax valuation, she noted much of the similar points that I mentioned today, and she actually came in at 695. And much of her point was the noisy road, the original state of the kitchen and bathroom. And I believe I submitted that as well for information.
That's it here. No, yeah.
Yep. And she's a certified real estate appraiser as well.
This was the one that was ordered by the bank?
Yes, that's the one, yep. So, I'm not even going for her value 695, but I'm happy to take a concession on that.
Right.
And then the final point, which just leads me to doubt a little the whole valuation of my particular property. I'm not saying that the town's mechanics of property valuation is flawed in any way, but my property card shows the house next door, which is over slightly larger square footage.
Okay.
So I just, I can see from the floor plans certainly where the calculations are driven off.
So the picture's incorrect, but do you believe that the values that are being used are correct?
In the floor plan, yes, correct.
So you do feel that this is your property data, just not your picture?
Right, but without the picture being incorrect, I can't say that 100%.
Sure, right, I can understand that.
So hence I thought it was worth coming to voice my appeal.
Sure, absolutely.
Don't know about that quick. I'll do my best.
I just wanted to state also for the record, whilst you write your final notes, that I'm not trying to lowball the town in any way. I think the schools and the town are immaculate and have put high standards. That's why we're here.
Sure.
But I just, I'd be happy if my house was valued at 780, but unfortunately it's not. And that's really all I have to say.
All right, thank you. So let me just explain to you the next steps.
Okay.
What I'll do is I will be presenting your petition at some point in the future here to a majority of our board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. We will notify you by mail when our decision is made, within 7 days of that decision, all right? We're hoping that all of them will be done in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you are granted a reduction, and that reduction can be your full asking amount or a partial, you would then not be eligible to come back to appeal again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. All right, and then if you're unhappy with any of those outcomes, then you are able to go to bring it to court, and we'll include instructions in your decision letter on how to do that.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So if there's nothing else, then we're all concluded here.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you very much for that.
All right.
Did you, I brought these because I was told I need to, but I noticed you have them.
Yeah, if it's, I can take them if you
Okay.
want. If they're extras, then they'll just, but
See, that's
what
what
I
I
have, so do you have copies? of
Yes,
them?
I have copies of them.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Did I take your, just want to make sure, oh, I did, yep, the signature.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Have a nice evening. Do you
You as
have
well.
many more to do?
I think I have about 8 more.
Okay. All right, have a good night.
Yes, you
Thank
as
you
well.
very much.
Okay,
Yay, is there somebody here with us?
we're just recording.
Okay.
That's unmuted.
Okay.
Okay, so just give me
Take your time.
All right, so, this is Peter Rupert. Today is, Wednesday, March 17th, 2021, and it is approximately 6:59 p.m. So I'm one of the 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today, and as I mentioned, it is being recorded. This is appeal number 282 for 1109 Brookside Drive.
Yes.
The owner is Glenn T. Demas,
Yes.
and the town has valued this property at $749,600, and there's an ask amount of $525,000, reduction to $525,000.
That's correct.
Okay. So, do you have an affidavit for?
Yeah, well, you want to swear me in, I can give you everything there.
All right. So, just confirm that you're the agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf?
Yes. Gregory Lane, Lana. I have an affidavit here from the owners.
Okay, and then just swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. So here is sworn statement. This is the agent certification from the homeowner. And here's 2 color original appraisals. Okay. Of the property.
Okay, when you're ready.
Ready? Okay. First of all, thanks very much, Peter, for being here this evening, for your service with the Board of Assessment Appeals. We know it's can be a thankless job, and I commend you for spending the time here and doing this here. So it's a good thing. The subject property is a single-family dwelling, address 1109 Brookside Drive, Fairfield, Connecticut. We're going to turn to page 5 of the report, which is really the first page of the actual appraisal. What's important to note is that the market has been increasing almost since pretty much this time last year. So when I do work for the banks, and that's what I do for a living full-time, I'm a state-certified real estate appraiser. We've been using positive time adjustments in some towns. It depends. The price ranges are different. Different types of properties are also different. But for single-family homes in Fairfield, we've been using a 12% per year positive time adjustment, which amounts to 1% a month. And we started doing this last spring of 2020, basically as of April 1st. The start of the second quarter of 2020.
Thank you. No, I'm setting up for me.
There's some competition in the hallway. Sorry. So we've been using the positive time adjustments when the marketplace gives us the necessary information. So that's important to know, because if you turn to the next page, that's where I use my comparable sales. I did utilize, there are 4 sales here, and I did use positive time adjustments on a couple of them, and they're all within, well, Alma Drive is 0.52 miles, but then the other Brookside is farther too. I've got 2 that are on Brookside. Comps 3 and 4 are on Brookside. The best comp, well, 1, 2, and 3, they're all good. What should be noted with this property, which is important, it's in a floodplain. So the rear of the property has frontage on the Mill River, and it has flooded significantly in the past couple of years with the storms. And I believe there are some photographs back in the back showing some of the water lines and some of the damage from the storm. But it's important to note that it is in a floodplain, which makes it less sought after. People don't want to buy a house that's in a floodplain, flat out. So that just kind of takes away from it. But what was fortunate was that the house at 79 Brookside, that's also, I believe, in a floodplain. So that has that same detrimental factor, and that's what you try and do when you're doing a appraisal report. And same with comp number 4, which is less than a quarter mile away. So they're also in a floodplain.
That's 1351 Brookside?
Yes. So I tried to find the subject property is a split level. So I tried to find other similar style properties, being a ranch, raised ranch, split. I tried to stay away from the capes, and the colonials because it's a different style home. And, I found 4 of the sales, and if you look at the adjustments at the bottom and if you reconcile comps 1 through 4, basically the value comes into to about 5 1/4. I could probably come in a little bit lower because that 4th comp is what brings up everything. I could probably come in at 500 just using the first 3, but I have that 4th comp that's also on Brookside, so I did rely on that somewhat. So that's what bumps it up to the 5 1/4. But even though the subject property has a bit over an acre, most of the property does flood after any kind of significant rain event or anything. And it's happening more and more, and I guess if you just watch TV, it's happening more and more everywhere, just being with the flooding and the storms and things. So trying to look how long they've been here. I think she told me it's been happening more recently. But they've been there they've been there almost 20 years, and it's happened a lot more in the past couple years. So I believe, and also Brookside Drive is pretty busy. I don't know what part of town you live in, but it seems like 2 other comps. Alma Drive that's a dead end, so that's nice and quiet. Ross Hill isn't but they're both not as busy as Brookside. But so you got the busy road, you got the floodplain, and it floods. So I believe with the comps 5 1/4 seems to be a fair number.
Okay. All right, so, all right, I'm just going to read the script, right? So, I will be presenting your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of that decision being made, and we're hoping all of those decisions to be made in March. If your appeal was denied, you can come back next year. If you were granted a reduction, you can now appeal again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. And if you don't agree with the board's decision, it can always be taken to court, and instructions on how to do that will be in the decision letter. All right?
I understand. Yes.
This concludes the
Okay.
Hearing.
Thank you.
All right, so let me just start again here. Okay, this is Peter Rupert. This is Peter Rupert. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. It is approximately 7:09 p.m. and this is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in using bridge number 3. Just going to read a couple things into the record. This is Appeal 278.
Correct.
The property being appealed the property address is 1371 Bronson Road.
Right.
The owners of this property are Robert and Marissa Clee.
Yes.
And the town has valued the property at $780,100, and the owners are asking for a reduction to $625,000.
That's correct.
And appraiser Greg Lane is here representing the clients, or the owners. Okay. So, and Mr. Lane, will you just state your name and that you're here on behalf of the owners?
Certainly. Gregory Lane, Lane. My business address is P.O. Box 578, Southport, Connecticut 06890. I'm here representing the homeowners, Robert and Marissa Clegg. Do you want to swear me in?
Yeah.
Okay, here,
Yeah,
okay.
you're
Right.
right. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment field and on question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. So, sworn affidavit, this is the agent certification, and then 2 appraisals.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
good, thank you.
Okay, so when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. The subject property is 1371 Bronson Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06824. If we jump right to the 5th page of the report, which is the first page of the appraisal, as stated in the last report, the market is appreciating. We use a 12% positive time adjustment for all sales subsequent to 4/1/2020. The subject property is non-conforming in a 1-acre zone, so it's 0.85 acres, and it's located on Bronson Road, which is
Can you just go back, you said non-conforming and.
yeah, that's about a third of the way down on that first page of the report under the site description. It has site area 37,026 square feet, which is 0.85 acres, and it's in a AA zone, which is a 1 acre, so it's legal, non-conforming. Meaning, like, if the house burned down, they could rebuild it, but they could only use the original footprint to build the house. And then, so they've been in this house about 8 years, and haven't really done a whole lot to it. I think what stands out and what's important is I found the house next door basically sold. The subject is 1371. The first comp is 1573 Bronson Road. It might be 2 houses away, tell you the truth. But it's on the same side of the road. It's actually in a lot worse shape than my subject. You can see I made a $200,000 condition adjustment, bringing this value up, which isn't normally done, but from reading the multiple listing description, it's not a house that I don't think I would ever buy, but it was next door and it was within the time frame of the revaluation. I really couldn't not use it. So, and there was also a fairly significant time adjustment up at the top next to the date. It's sold in February of 2020. So because of the market appreciation, I did use a $39,000 positive adjustment there for that. But there are 2 other sales, the one on Millville Road, which is also, it's busy, not as busy as Bronson, obviously, and then Carriage Drive is certainly that's a dead-end street, it's a much better street. So using those 3 sales, and I did rely more upon the first sale, because that's the one on the same street, and I could have come in quite a bit lower, you know, not making the adjustment for the condition, but again, I'm just trying to be fair. So that's basically where I came up with the 6.25 number. I did utilize the other sales too, but the best sale is probably number 1. That's the one there on the same street.
Okay.
And there are photographs in the back. You can see the kitchen, the bath, not a whole lot has been done. So it's not like they gutted the kitchen or the bathrooms or anything. It's pretty much just a average condition, nothing fancy.
Anything else?
No, I think that does it, thank you.
All right, great. So, again, from the record, just that, thank you for presenting your petition. I will take this information to our majority of our board as a deliberation session, consideration vote. You'll be notified by now of our board's decision within 7 days of that being made. We're hoping all decisions will be made in March. If you're appealed tonight, you can come back next year. If you were granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. And if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter. If there are no further questions at this time, then this concludes the hearing.
I understand. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for your time.
Sure.
I got the door open now, not so stuffy in here.
Yeah.
Good. You get it? Like a little sauna in here. Okay, well, hopefully you don't have too many more this evening, Peter.
Yeah, I think I have 5 more.
Okay.
So,
Well, not like it's 10 or 15 more.
no,
so.
exactly.
Yeah, it could be worse. I thank you again for your time.
Yep, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Right, take
Okay.
care.
Okay, we're done. Next slide, please.
Mr. Vanieris, is that how I say it? Vanieris, okay, all right. So,
You can call me Constantine if you want, or Corey, whichever.
okay, all right, thanks.
So the assignments?
In just a minute. So, we are, the session is being recorded, so, it's going to just read through a little script here, read a couple things into the record.
Sure.
All right, before we start hearing. This is Peter Rupert. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. It's approximately 7:22 p.m. And this is the evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals using bridge number 3. Corey, I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of the 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. And I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. And as I mentioned, it's being recorded. I'm just going to read a couple things into the record about the appeal. Just if anything sounds wrong, just let me know, okay?
Sure.
So this is appeal number 48. It's for 100 Mill River Road.
Mm-hmm.
It's the owner of this property is Constantine Vanieris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The town has valued your property at $819,500, and you're asking for a reduction to $700,000.
Yes.
Okay. So if you would just confirm that you are the owner, just state your name and you are the owner of this property.
Sure. My name is Constantine Vanieris. The house is owned by myself and my wife, Lindsay Vanieris.
Okay, thank you. And if you would put your right hand up and we can just swear you in. All right, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes, great, thank you. So that's the form right there. If you would just sign that top line.
Do you want me to print my name next to it?
No, that's just the signature is fine. All right, so this is now going to be your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $700,000 and not the value that was assigned by the town. Sure. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and just please try to be as succinct as possible.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, go. All right, so from the information that you received, I was able to pull some comparable data. Mostly the properties around me with the same type of footprint were around anywhere from like 625 to about 700,000. We had one house near us that sold for 725. However, that one had a pool, which we do not, and the majority of our property is actually located in wetlands. So the back half of our entire property we can't really use. I provided the FEMA website, which actually shows the exact areas that are compromised by the Mill River. Our house, the main house, the house itself does not sit in that flood zone, thankfully. However, about 75% of the remainder of the property is pretty much really unusable. I can't even get a shed if I wanted to put one in the back approved. So I can't really use it. Right now, if you were to walk in the back of my property and you were wearing boots, your feet would sink in because it's that wet. It's great for the grass. I don't have to not necessarily water it, but like I said, it's predominantly wetlands. And around the properties that we have 99 Oriole Lane, sold for $670. We have 840 Sturgis Ridge Road, sold for $692. 15 Fife Road, sold for $685. 79 Oyster Street, sold for $675. 597 Twilsome, sold for $635. 58 Cherry, $635. 180 Twilsome, $680. 393 Twilsome, $652. 107 Rock Split Rock Road, 615, 39 River Street, 660, 683, Old Stratfield, 565. And again, we have on Brookside, I think it was like 265 or something like that. That sold for 725. However, that property was much more updated than ours. Had a pool, had a master bedroom with a master bath. We don't have one of those. Our house is pretty much most original from 1952 and 1975. Our kitchen is from 1975. It's mostly all hardwood floors. Originally in the plan it showed rugs. That's not the case. We took those out when we first moved in, so it's all hardwood. But the valuation is quite high, to say the least. Given the fact that all the New Yorkers moving in because of the pandemic, shouldn't necessarily affect that because the prices are inflated. Oh, and to add, when we bought the house in 2016, the town was originally assessing it at $785,000, I believe, and we won our tax appeal for that one, lowering it from $785 down to $650, and we bought the house originally for $6. So in that span, I don't believe it went up from $600,000 to $819,500. That would be one of the best investments someone can have, and I'd probably sell it. But it's a great town. I'm going to raise my kids here, so we're not moving.
What was the number, can you just tell me what the number was the home that you're saying on?
Brookside? Yeah, it was like it was 725. I can grab my cell phone if you want.
You said that one sold for $725, right?
Mm-hmm. I can find it for you.
Is it 1509?
I think so. I'm trying to find it right now. It's, my internet here is really slow. Oh, there you go. Yeah, maybe it's 1509. It has a pool in the back. Oh, and I also added, from my recent refinance of our mortgage, added the appraisal. The appraisal came back at $740,000. However, that doesn't take into account the wetlands. And they also listed comps here as well. So they listed 63 Centerbrook Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06824 at 740. 122 Limerick Road, Fairfield, Connecticut at 740. And they also listed 120 Orchard Hill Lane, Fairfield, Connecticut at 745.
Why do you say that they didn't take into account the wetlands?
I don't think they did. Because when you read through the report, they don't mention the wetlands anywhere in it. Actually, when the refinance happened, I told them that that's high for where I think the house is listed at. So, and I didn't really necessarily need a high appraised value for it because our mortgage, we're under, what? We're under 50% LTV, so it's not a big problem if it's a step lower. So, but you have all the comparables there as well. There's a few other ones they added in here. 2062 North Bedson Road.
I see 100 Mill River Road, I see 1509 Brookside, 243 Brooks Lane, and 278 Steiner.
Yeah, that's on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, 1509 Brookside, that's the one, okay, so it didn't sell for 725, it sold for 715. And that's the one with the pool, and it was slightly more updated. Had a larger square footage than our house. Had about the same acreage, but it's like, again, it has a pool, has the master bath that my wife wants. We don't have. Yeah.
All right, if you have anything further?
Nothing else. I mean, all the information is here. Do you have the picture of the? Is it color or black and white?
It is color.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that one specifically, we don't have much access. I mean, in the summer it dries up a little bit, but for the most part, we don't really go further back than maybe 200, 300 feet in off of our deck.
Just say that, like you said, how far back from your deck?
Yeah, I mean, probably more towards the middle of it. I'm not sure exactly, but not that far. Like the whole entire our backyard is wooded. It's mostly all deer and birds. I mean, hell, it could be a bird sanctuary for as much animals that live back there.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what the next steps are here.
Sure.
All right. Thank you for coming in tonight. What will happen is I will present your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You will be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that being made.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping that all decisions will be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year and appeal again. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. So, I mean, what can happen? Two things can happen. Three things, right? We can deny it, we can grant it in full,
mm-hmm.
or we can grant it in part. If we grant it in full or in part, then you are precluded from coming back until the next reevaluation in 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay?
But I'm not precluded because I was approved for the valuation.
today, but I feel like I'm catching up.
No.
Yeah. We bought the house in 16.
Yeah.
The new valuation came out in 15. But you should have seen the house beforehand. It was an older woman lived there from it was the original owner. It was basically a hoarder house. Well, I wouldn't say a hoarder house. It had a lot of stuff. And we actually ended up having to help her move all her stuff on our walkthrough. So she definitely enjoyed the house, and we do as well. It's not necessarily updated to today's standards, right? It doesn't have the correct granite. It doesn't have the correct electrical. I mean, it's what do you call it? Cloth. So it's like a step above knob and tube. So it still has a ground technically inside the cloth, but if you try fiddling with any of the fixtures or anything like that, you pretty much have to have the power off. You can't do it with it on because it'll pop the breaker.
What year was the house built?
The house was originally built in 1952, and then the addition was built in 74, which brought in the kitchen and a sitting area, I believe. But yeah, the house needs work. That's the best thing I can say. It's definitely not worth $819,000. If I could have gotten that on the market and sell it, no one would ever pay for my house for that much money. They'll probably offer exactly what I'm saying now, and I would probably say, no, I'll just stay in the house for that amount. So.
All right. So, just to go back to, the decisions. So if you're not satisfied with any of those three scenarios, then you can, bring it to court.
Yeah, there's a court appeal. Yeah.
And, we'll provide instructions on how to do that if you so choose in your decision letter, all right? So if you don't have any further questions, then this is concluded. Do you have something else?
No.
No? Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking of something, but
All right, well, listen, I mean, if you do, you can always, contact the assessor with, that, and they'll give us that information.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So, all right?
All right,
Well,
thank
thanks
you.
very much.
Appreciate it.
All right? Have a good evening.
And you have all of this, right? Everything that's needed there?
I do, I mean, I have the appraisal, I have the, I have the
Area
GIS,
Okay.
map, I have,
And you have the FEMA map,
The FEMA
you have
map,
the
yeah.
comps that I found, the
Yeah.
comps that
The list
were
of-
used in the appraisal. Okay. All right,
all right?
thank you.
Thank you very much.
And your name again?
Peter Rupert, R-U-P-P-E-R.
Thank you, Peter. And when would you say you would probably hear back by?
Well, we're hoping to have all these, decisions made by the end of March. I mean, it's a good possibility that it may go into April, but, once we've made the decision in our deliberation, we'll notify you within 7 days.
And then the change in taxes, you'll probably see a reflection in that by July?
Is that, to tell you the truth, I don't know that whole part of that process.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
right.
All right, thank you.
Sure. All right, have a good evening.
You as well, Peter. Have a great night.
Okay.
Long day,
Yeah.
and you're not done.
No.
1 more hour,
At least.
at least.
Yes, hi, is this Bartolowski?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Peter Rupert from the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Hi.
All right. So, are you prepared for your hearing right now?
I am.
All right, great. All right, so, Ms. Bartolowski, I'm just going to tell you, we are, am I saying that correctly? I hope.
Bartowski, but it's okay.
Okay. So, we are being recorded here, and so I just wanted you to know that. And then I'm just going to be reading through a script. First, I'm going to start with just some information I'm going to put into the record, okay? And then we'll start the hearing. All right, so my name is Peter Rupert. So this is Peter Rupert, and today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. It is approximately 7:42 p.m. And this is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals, utilizing bridge number 3. This is a phone conference. I am Peter Rupert. I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal tonight, and as I mentioned, it is being recorded. I'm going to read a few things into the record, and if you hear anything that seems inaccurate, please let me know, okay? This is appeal number 23 for the property is 64 Middlebrook Place. The owners are Nisa and Michael Bartolowski, and the town is your property appraised at $664,400, and you're asking for a reduction to $625,000. Okay. So for the record, would you state your name and that you are the owner of this property?
My name is Mr. Bartolowski. I am here with my husband, Michael.
I'm here as well.
Oh, hi.
Property.
Okay. Thank you. And if you would both put your hand up if you want to, if you don't have to, but I need to swear you in. All right. So, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great, thank you. So what is going to happen is just a confirmation that you are sworn in will be mailed to you, and just sign that and return it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is going to be your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe that the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $625,000 and not the value assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date. And just please try to be as succinct as possible. All right, so when you're ready, you can go ahead.
Yeah, we just felt the town's appraisal was high. We hired an independent appraiser, the same one that we hired in 2015. You guys have the appraisal for that. You had approved that. And I'm not sure how they make their calculations for the town, but we did feel that it accurately represented our personal property. So we had an appraisal done specifically for our home. Mm-hmm. And that's what it came out to be, $625. That's what we believe the value of our home is. And we would like it adjusted to that number.
Okay. All right, so you have, I see the appraisal here, and yeah. I'm looking at the comps that the appraiser used. All right, so I'm seeing 969 Powder Horn Hill, 2120 Mill Plain Road, 81 Taunton Road, and what's the other comps? All right, 64 Middlebrook Place, 21 Kalen Circle, 580 Katona Drive, and 630 Duck Farm Road. And let's see, there's some others as well here. All right, so actually, I think repeat 64 Middlebrook. That looks like a repeat. Where's our house?
Yeah, our house is going to be the first one on each one.
Oh, I've seen, no, yeah, what am I talking about? You're right, sorry about that. Taunton Road, but is that one a repeat? It's fine.
There's 8 separate comparisons that he made.
Okay.
For all appraisals, it's been working in the town for a long time. And
all right.
He also did our 2015 one that we submitted to guys and you accepted.
All right, so you were successful in 2015?
In 2010.
Okay.
It seems like something's wrong with the system because every time we go through this, they jack the prices way, way, way up. Mm-hmm. And then, in 2010, we bought. And they argued, I think, all the way to this point, and it was the sale price, and we had not bought under direct or anything. It was like, they were trying to argue it was substantially higher. Like, this is what I just paid for the house, like, this year. Mm. So I don't know. We seem to have some kind of miscalculation or something.
All right, so, can you tell me how, I mean, obviously I have this, appraisal here in front of me, I'll, have to read, through it in more depth, but, how do you think that the appraiser, came to this figure? Is there anything, obviously I can look through it, and I will look through it, but just anything that you want to add, beyond, what's here, in the appraisal?
No, we would defer to the expert.
All right? And you said you have used him, Stephen Coriel?
Yep.
All right. All right, well, let me just explain the steps. I mean, it sounds like you're experts at this. What's going to happen is I'll, review this, and all of the board members will have access to this as well, so they can look at it too. And what's going to happen is I'm going to present your petition to a majority of our board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of that decision. And then we're hoping that all of our decisions will be made in March, but could be April. All right, we're probably going to be heading into April. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. So, you could be granted a full reduction that you've asked for, or a partial. All right. Either way, you would be precluded from appealing again until the next reevaluation. All right. But if you don't agree with any of those scenarios, then you can, bring it to court and appeal in court. And instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, or any questions that I might be able to answer? No? Okay. Then this concludes our hearing, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right? Okay, good night now.
Good.
being recorded here, the session is being recorded, okay?
Mhm.
So what I'm gonna do is just, read some things into the record first, and then we'll, move on to the hearing, okay?
All right.
So,
What's your name?
my name's Peter Rupert.
Peter?
Peter Rupert, R-U-P-P-E-R-T. This is Peter Rupert. Today is March 17th, 2021. It is approximately 7:57 p.m., and this is the evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals using bridge number 3. So as I said, I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. And as I mentioned, it is being recorded. I'm going to say a few things for the record, and just if something is not right, just let me know. Your appeal is number 239. The property you're appealing is located at 179 Mill River Road. The owner of this property, Robert and Gwyneth Claiborne.
Perfect.
And
I walked you past.
the town value is, this property at $923,700. You can go, close that, sure. So the town value is at $923,700, and you're asking for a reduction to $832,000. Okay? So, right now, I'm just going to confirm that you are the owner of this property. So if you would just state your name and that you are the owner of this property.
My name is Robert Claiborne, and I'm the owner of 179 Mill River Road, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay, great, thank you. And I'm just going to swear you in now. If you put your right hand up, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, I swear.
Great, thank you. So that paper that was on the table there, you just sign that top line. That is the confirmation of being sworn in.
All right, thank you.
All right, so, Mr. Claiborne, this is now your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $832,000 and not the value assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and please try to be as succinct as possible.
All right. Okay, first, I've lived in Fairfield for about 30 years. I'm retired. The house is, we said, the address is 179 Mill River Road. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath colonial on approximately 1 acre. The house was built in 1956. We bought it in 2003. The house has town water, but no sewer. We're on septic. We have no pool. And we believe the town's current appraised value of $923,100 is above the fair market value. We hired a third-party certified appraiser named Martin Iceland to appraise our property. And the complete appraisal is attached to my submission along with the property card. And the appraisal compared our property to 6 sales of comparable properties in the area that occurred between May and September of 2020, which is in the base period. And the appraiser adjusted the surplus land at $20,000 per acre, and gross living area was adjusted at $40 per square foot for differences over 100 square feet for each comparable sale. The comparable properties were also adjusted for location, traffic, style, and other features. And based on the appraiser's assessment of the comparables, he appraised our property at current market value of $832,000 based on the comparable sales. I respectfully request the town's appraised value set at $832,000.
Okay.
And if you have any questions on the property or the appraisal, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay. So Mill River, this is Mill River Road. Are you actually on the Mill River?
No, we're up above it a little bit.
Okay.
It's between Brookside and Duck Farm. And the appraisal also has a map at the back that shows the location of the various comparables we use.
Well, is there anything else that you would want that's not in this, want me to know that's not in this appraisal document?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, it's, it's an older home. And as I said, about 1 acre of property. It's a relatively quiet street. And the appraiser took that into account when he selected the various comparable sales in the area. And I just think that the town's appraised value is substantially above what the actual current market is. I did some of my own research as well, which was generally consistent with the appraiser's assessment.
Is there anything that you want to add? And that's not, when you said you did your own research, is anything?
No, I submitted some of that for the pre-hearing.
Okay.
And then there was no adjustment made based on that, so then I hired a certified appraiser. But based on what I looked at and the comps and comps per square foot and so forth, it all kind of triangulated around that valuation. And if the town wanted to offer me $923,000 for the house, I'd sell it to you right now. And I think, I'm sure you've heard this, that I think the pandemic has kind of artificially inflated the real estate market in Fairfield temporarily. But I think, before that, I think prices were very flat. But, it is what it is. It's the whole town.
All right. Have there been any improvements that you want to mention? That, obviously, I see some, the story was added in 2006, so,
Yeah, we bought it in 2003, and we did a renovation in 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
That's the only changes to the property we've had, and that's all been reflected in the prior assessments.
Right. All right. Well, if you don't have anything further, then the process is that what will happen is I will bring your petition to the majority of the board, and we will deliberate and consider and vote on this application. you'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that being made. And we're hoping that all decisions will be made in March, but it's possible that it will trickle into April. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year and appeal again. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation, which is in 5 years. And so, there are two possibilities there. You could be granted the full amount that you've asked for, or a partial amount, and then that would preclude you from appealing again during the 5 years. And if you're dissatisfied with any of those scenarios, then you can go to court and appeal it in court, and instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter. So if you don't have any further questions for me, then this would conclude the hearing.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me regarding the property?
I don't. I was just interested in, I know sometimes on Bentonville Plain, there can be, some, flooding issues, and so I don't know if that, if that's something that I need to put down here.
No, some of my neighbors do have that, but we have not had that.
Yeah.
We have not had that issue.
Right. So I don't have anything, again, I've looked at this briefly. I'll look at it much more thoroughly, and, look at all those comps. The board members as well have access to this. They'll, review it as well, and, we'll, try to, we will be fair.
Yeah. No, I think the appraiser did a good job. I think he found good comparables, and he made the, adjustments that an appraiser makes.
Sure.
Compensate for the differences in the properties. I think it's a fair appraisal. And if it's denied and would go to court, who would it be a judge that hears that, or how would
I believe so. I to tell you the truth, I don't know anything beyond this point of the process.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, appreciate your time. Sure. And, well, you can get out here and not too late and go enjoy St. Patrick's Day a little bit.
Yeah, right.
How long you been doing working on the appraiser?
This is my second year on this board.
Yeah.
So, this is a particularly busy year. I mean, there's over 650 appeals. So it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I guess that's any year you have the evaluation.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, all right, well, thanks so much.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Enjoy St. Patrick's Day if you're celebrating.
Yeah. I'm going to go meet a friend of
So I'm going to be reading a script here. I'm going to put a couple things into the record first, okay? And I get started.
Yes, I will.
This is Peter Rupert. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. It's approximately 8:13 p.m. and this is the evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in or utilizing bridge number 3. Welcome, Mr. Kushner. I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. And as I mentioned, it is being recorded. Right now, I'm going to state a few things for the record and just correct me if anything is inaccurate.
Sure.
All right. This is appeal number 526, and the property is 1351 Brookside Drive.
Correct.
The owners of this property are Evan and Eliza Kushner.
Eliza, correct.
Eliza, sorry.
No problem.
All right.
Even though she's not here.
And the town has valued your property at $800,500, and you're asking for a reduction to $705,000.
Correct.
Okay.
There's some amendment that I rushed to hand that paperwork in because I didn't know this process was going on. I was new to the area.
Okay.
And I think I found out the morning of the day, for last day, so I scrambled to get that in.
All right. Well, listen, I will say that if there's something else that you feel you need to add, then you can do that. And if you have that there, okay, great. So, right now, what I'd like you to do is just confirm that you are the owner of the property. Just state your name for the record and whether you're the owner.
Evan Kushner is my name, and I am the owner, 1351 Brookside Drive.
Great. And if you just put your right hand up, I'm just going to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, great. And so, if that paper that's on the table there, if you would just sign the top line,
Sure.
and I'll come collect it from you. And are those, do you have copies for me, or should I go?
They're for you.
Do you want me to go?
I should have brought 2 copies. I didn't think about that. But I can give it all to you.
All right. I mean, how many are there?
Well, the notice I don't need to give you, right?
No.
And that's what I filled out to get you to this.
Okay, so I don't need that.
And I just put together thoughts and spreadsheet of properties surrounding us, and this is our field card. I don't know if you need that.
I probably have it here.
I may have put attach it to the appraisal.
Yes, I have the.
Okay, so
just those 3 dots?
Yep, 2 dots.
2 dots. Okay, so let me just go make copies of them, okay?
Oh, great, thank you.
So, Mr. Cushing, this is your opportunity now to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $705,000 and not the value that's been assigned by the town.
Yes.
And market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and try to be as succinct as possible. Okay?
Sure. So, as I said earlier, we're new to the area. The Roys, the former owners, put the home on the market for $729,000. I felt there was a slight pandemic premium in it, but I felt it was a fair price. And I think that my feelings were justified when the bank did an appraisal, and appraised the home at $705,000. That's the number I put in the appeal because, again, I rushed to get something to you guys. But my main point here is the revaluation of the land. The appraisal from the bank didn't use a cash basis; they used the comparable sales basis, which was lower than the cash basis. Yeah. But the cash basis, they valued the land at $350,000, so higher than what they actually appraised the home for. And the home was previously being assessed at $391,000. The jump with the town's assessment 1 month after I purchased them is over $200,000, almost $200,000 in the value of the land. Which was,
Just a little bit right.
if I was flipping the house, would be incredible. But that, my purpose is to, raise my family and live in the home. So I started looking at the homes surrounding us across the street, and I used the 10 closest homes to us, and I put that on the spreadsheet. And so the 5 closest homes on the other side of Brookside Drive are bigger lots, and almost all of those homes, taxes were reduced this year. And collectively, I think the smallest acreage is 2, where I'm at 1.09, and their total value for 2 acres is less than my value for my 1.09 acres. And it's the same right down the line across the street. There's a home that has 3.65 acres that their value is still $50,000 less than my 1 acre, and their taxes dropped. Myself and my neighbors' assessments went up dramatically from having conversations. And I'm here because I don't understand why. My 1 acre is worth more than 3 acres and 2.5 acres across the street from me. So I also mentioned in the letter that I put together some notes, just things about my property compared to the other properties, and trying to go through the process of why and how my land is worth more than everything else. And I also mentioned that almost 3/4 of my parcel is wetland setback and wetland with restricted usage, but somehow the valuation is higher than the land across the street that has no restrictions.
You did 3/4 of it?
The wetland buffer goes right up to about 5 feet off my deck. So I can't really do anything but look at the beautiful trees in my backyard. And there's a very small part of my property that is wetland, and is also on the FEMA flood zone on certain maps, but on other documents I've read, it says we're not in the flood zone. So, and again, that's all the way in the back of my property, but still, it's counterintuitive to my property being valued higher than the other properties around me. It's also, my property is also, seems to be the funnel for all the water on the street. We're on a steep incline from Brookside to the back of my property, and when it rains, all the water goes down my driveway, erodes all my land, and so it's really just part of the whole story of why I was like, why me? Why is my land valued higher than everything else? So getting back to the 705, again, I put that down because I didn't know what to write. I was in a hurry to get something done so I could be here. So I wouldn't say that number is my specific number.
I mean, you are welcome to provide, if you have another number you want to provide, then...
No, because my appeal is really about the valuation of the land rather than the land and the home. I you know, the houses, comparing one house to another, it's ambiguous, and I don't know what's going on in other properties.
Right.
To say it's too high or too low, but a piece of land is a piece of land, and I wanted to stick to what was obvious, not what could be subjective, really. So that's why in the letter that I handed in today, using the 350 number, because it was the higher number on the appraisal that was done in July, just 90 days prior to the town saying, okay, your land is now worth $200,000 more than it was last year, and even more so than the bank just appraised it. That's basically my story with the increase in the valuation of the land. There's also that popped up. I don't know when it happened, because I did see an old field card where it wasn't there, but on the new one it says that there's a $25,000 generator, and we don't have a generator, and there's no generator hookup in the house, and I don't think there was ever a generator on the property. It also made me wonder whether or not my property, based on all this, was confused with another property, because a 33% increase in the land value seems a little steep.
I mean, would you say, you know, besides the generator, the erroneous generator, would you say that the other data on the field card seems accurate?
I'm new to this process. You know, so I'm not quite sure how it works. There are two sheds on the property. If a strong wind came by, they'd probably both be in splinters on the ground. So is it that a shed's a shed, and if you have it, then it has a certain value, and that's it, regardless of the condition? You know, there's a lot of parts of this house that I think the last time anyone improved it was 2006 or maybe 9, and there's a lot of things just like the shed. The sheds are probably 50 years old though, that are past their useful life that just need to be replaced. But they're there, so I'm assuming that's tough noogies on me.
Right. So just wanted to make sure here, right? So you're saying that 3/4 of just your backyard, or like the total property?
Well, my land is kind of like a slice of pie.
Okay.
And the home is in the first third of that piece of land. And right off the back of my deck, I'd say it's, and I was trying to get the exact measurement off an old survey, but it's somewhere between 6 and 10 feet, starts the buffer zone that pretty much covers like almost 2/3, greater than a half, maybe not exactly 2/3.
All right. Okay, anything else that you wanna,
Well, I love living here. We're enjoying it.
It is a good town.
Yeah.
It's a good town. So, let me just tell you what the process is.
Sure.
Right, going forward here. What will happen, next, I will present your petition to a majority of our board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that happening. We're hoping, our decisions will be made, in March, probably, April as well though. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year and appeal again, all right? If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revaluation, which is in 5 years. Now, there are two scenarios there. One is that we could grant your full reduction,
Okay.
or we can grant in part.
Okay.
Either way, you would be precluded from returning until the next one.
Okay.
Unless you decide you're not satisfied with any of those scenarios, and then you can bring it to court, and there are going to be instructions in the decision letter on how to do that.
Okay.
All right? So if you don't have any other questions or any other things you'd like to say, then we're finished here.
Nothing I can think of.
All right. All right.
Just thank you for your time
Sure.
and for listening. And
Thanks, Coach. So where do you come
from New York.
from here?
I've been trying to get here for many years. I have friends here. And
Oh, yeah.
luckily, regretfully, the pandemic helped my wife to So we're very happy being here, and hopefully we could resolve this.
Sure. All right.
Thank you. Very
All
nice
right.
meeting.
Yep, you as well.
Take care.
It goes to the right here.
Okay.
And you're just sitting right over here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, God, it's so hot in here.
I'll like you outside for a moment.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
All right, so Ms. Bailey, my name's Peter Rupert, and I'll be conducting your hearing.
You are, I'm sorry, who?
Peter Rupert.
Hi, Peter.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
So I just wanted you to know we are going to be recording here, this session, and I have a script that I'm gonna read through, but I'm gonna start by just reading a couple things into the record, and then
Okay.
we'll get started with the hearing. So this is Peter Rupert, and today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021, and the time is approximately 8:33 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an evening hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in using Bridge 3. I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. And as I mentioned, it is being recorded. What I'm going to do right now is state a couple things into the record and just let me know if anything is inaccurate, okay? So your appeal is number 525.
Okay.
The property you are appealing is located at 1383 Brookside Drive.
Mm-hmm.
The owners of this property are Nancy and William Bailey,
Correct.
and the town has valued your property at $936,300,
Correct.
and you believe that it should be reduced to $850,000.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. So, if you would just confirm that you are the owner of this property by just stating your name and that you are the owner of this property.
Yeah, my name is Nancy Bailey, and I own 1383 Brookside Drive along with my husband, William.
Okay, great. And if you would put your right hand up, and I'm just going to read swear you in here. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
All right, great, thanks. So the paper that's on the table there, just the top line, if you would sign that, just a confirmation that you were sworn in.
Okay.
Thank you. Right. So this is now going to move to be your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $850,000 and not the value that was assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and please try to be as succinct as possible.
Okay. I provided a list of comps for you. So as you can see, I guess I can glasses off, sorry. 243 Hillbrook Lane, a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath colonial with 2,500 square feet, sold for $650,000 in May of 2020. In May also of 2020, 1509 Brookside Drive, 2 or 3 houses away from me. There's a I'm so sorry. I just turned that off.
Okay.
Sorry about that. In May, also 2020, 1509 Brookside, a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath colonial, 2,600 square feet, sold for $715,000. In September of 2020, 1351 Brookside Drive, sold for $729,000, a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath colonial, 2,400 square feet. And in November of 2020, 116 Frog Pond Lane, sold for $899,000. That was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,200 square foot house with 2 acres. And Hillbrook Lane, 22 Hillbrook Lane, just sold about 3 weeks ago for $770,000. That's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath colonial with 3,683 square feet. It also has 2 acres. So I'm sort of giving I came up with the 850 because if you're going to assess properties by parcel versus acreage, then I feel that my parcel should be worth what the parcels of these homes sold for, so I just came up with an estimate of $850,000. All of the houses across the street went down by about 20% in their acreage. My house went up, my land went up 50%.
When you say that again, all houses across the street went up by, or went
They
down?
went down by about 20%.
Yours you said went up.
And my house, my property increased by 50%. And you have the little graph that I did about the houses that are across the street and how their property values went down, yeah. Well, it's
Okay, yeah, let me just, I'm sure I do, but. Yeah, so it says table 2.
yes, exactly, yeah.
I mean, and is it your contention that it's the value of the land that is the thing that's
Yes.
driving this?
Yes.
Okay?
100%, yes.
And this is on Brookside?
Yes.
And on this side, so on this side of Brookside, is this a flooding area?
Yes, I do have wetlands on my property.
Okay. And, how does that impact your property?
Well, I can't subdivide it or anything, or, you can't use it for anything else. I just don't understand how the town could think I could sell my house for $936,000. That's $200,000 over everybody else around me who sold their house in the last 6 to 8 months. And that includes people on my side of the street as well as people on the other side of the street. And really that all has to do with the land value.
Is there anything else that you would like?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, I went over, I gave you all the comps of the sales. The only new comp that you don't have is on 22 Hillbrook Lane, because at the time when I did this, it was still for sale for $849. That was $849.9 was the list price, and it did sell for $770.
Okay, all right, so that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So that isn't noted on your paperwork.
So it was on for $849.
It was on for it was on for $899.9, then it was reduced to $849.9, and then it sold for $770.
Okay, so let me just explain the process from here.
Okay.
And again, thank you for coming in and presenting. All right. What will happen here is I'll bring your petition to a majority of our board for deliberation and consideration, and we'll take a vote on it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that being made.
Okay,
And we're hoping that this will be done in March, and could possibly be April.
okay,
If your appeal is denied, you can come back again next year and appeal again. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. And so there are two scenarios there. One is that we grant fully your asking reduction, or we could grant it in part. Okay. Either way, you would be precluded from coming back until that 5-year reevaluation. On the other hand, if you're dissatisfied with any of those scenarios, then you can bring it to court and appeal in court, and instructions on how to do that are going to be provided with your decision letter. Right?
Now, is there a state board of appeals? Is that all part of the court, if I were going to bring it to court, or can I go to a state board of appeals?
No, the next level is the court.
Okay.
The court. Yeah. So anyway, if there's nothing else, then that's
I think that's it, unless you have any insight as to why my property was increased by 50%.
Yeah, I don't have any,
Who determines that?
Well, their bids were sent out for the appraisal company, and, the appraisal company that they hired, uses whatever formula. And again, I'm not an appraiser, I don't do that stuff. They come up with formula, plug in, things, and they come to some kind of number. So I don't know that. I think what we look at is things like comps are, these sales comps are very important. So look at them and say, well, what's going on here? What's maybe behind the property that we don't, we don't know. So, we have access to, all field cards, all the, maps and stuff. So we can look at your home on a map and see it and, understand a little bit more about it. And everyone else does. I mean, all the board members will have this same, packet that you provided for us.
So that everybody will be looking at the sales comps and...
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I mean, it's my job to come and, let them know what this appeal is about. And then, all of our job is to, look at the information, try to put it together and then come to a decision.
Okay.
All right?
All right, and who is on the board? Are there realtors on the board? Are there...
There are several realtors, a couple people who have experience on this, board assessment appeals. Like this is my second year.
Yeah.
So we have some new people. We, it's kind of a diverse group.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I guess that's all.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
So I will look forward to hearing from you guys.
Okay. Have a good evening now.
You too.